Stock futures right now, as we think about the markets opening, are down. The futures definitely slipping today. They're losing a little bit of their upside momentum, primarily due to some disappointing, again, weakening news continuing to come out of Asia. The European stock markets trading down as well today, probably in reaction to what's going on here, Asia, here being the budget battle. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And of course, it is going to be a battle. Remember, in the next couple of days, we are going to be seeing a budget. Well, maybe coming out of the Senate, as was promised. Remember that? We'll see. I'm really looking forward to this budget. Not because I think it's going to get approved or it's going to have any major spending cuts. It's going to put us on the road to prosperity, or that it's going to really start to get our fiscal house in order. That's not why I'm anxious to see it. I think looking at this budget will give us some insights to exactly I don't know that I need the insights, but to see some confirmation is probably a better word of what the Obama administration truly believes about getting our fiscal house in order. And I think that as previous budgets, remember the budget that he submitted a year and a half ago that didn't get one single vote. This will be interesting to see how that goes. And I'm anxious to see the detail of this budget that is put forth. Now, first of all, having said that, I won't be a little bit surprised if there is not a budget put forth. Won't be surprised at all. As a matter of fact, I will likely be shocked if the Democrats live up to their agreement and putting forth a budget, voting on a budget, and approving a budget moving forward. Remember, it's been 5 years. They don't want a budget. The problem with budget is two things. It comes with accountability, right? Because now the American people have something by which we can hold accountable the government, right, for their spending. No, they don't want that. I mean, they don't want to be held accountable. So I'll be surprised. But here's the thing. Apparently, Democrats, particularly those in the House, are trying to distance themselves from the president. Why? Because there's an election a year from this November for them to get reelected. They need desperately to distance themselves from the spending policies and the course in which we are on that is going to take us over the cliff. Paul Ryan's budget that has been presented, I talked a little bit about it yesterday. Paul Ryan's budget is going to commit to getting the fiscal house in order. See, here's the problem. Republicans believe, I do believe this. Now, whether they're just talking points, whether they are deeply embedded truths that they believe in, is totally different than them actually doing something. But I do believe that they have a greater understanding that if we don't get our fiscal house in order, we are pretty much doomed. Okay? They understand that we have to address the entitlement programs. They have to address the expansion of the size of government. They have to address the spending, the out-of-control spending, I might add, that our government continues to be on. We've got to address those things. I think that Republicans understand, maybe the only ones that really care, and certainly Paul Ryan understands with this budget, that we need to get our house in order, our fiscal house in order. And if we don't, we will be going over a cliff. And I've been saying that. We're going to go over the cliff. And people say, well, when's it going to happen? I don't know when. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I do know this, that it's going to happen at some point in time. We can't continue to trash the dollar. We can't continue to spend. We can't continue to ignore the debt the government is getting into without understanding that we are going to be in deep, deep troubles someday. It's interesting that this week we are seeing the 10-year bond yield, go back over 2%. Nobody seems to care about that or worried about that. The idea is, the attitude is that shows that the economy is strengthening. That would have been true in any other environment or any other recovery in the nation's history. The question is that true today?